Hello, I'm Drunkard Ninja, and this is my walkthrough for Valkyria Chronicles, the 5th playable report, Flower of the Battlefield. Uh, in this video, I'm going to show you how to beat the level in 3 turns, achieving an A ranking and unlocking the enemy ace weapon, which is actually a tank one in this mission. There's 2 possible ways to win this map. Really all you have to do is defend your base for 7 turns, not let any enemies get near it. This is kind of difficult because there's a lot of enemies, as I'll show you on the map. And so the other way to win is to kill all the enemies, which is what we're going to do in the 3 turns. A couple prerequisites. I still haven't leveled any of my troops. For this mission I'm only going to be using the Edelweiss, 1 scout and 2 shock troopers. My scouts and shock troopers are both still level 14, but I have upgraded their weapons to whatever the current one is. For the scout, it's the damage one. I believe it's the A11, and then for the shock troopers, it's the clip up one, level 5 or something like that. I forget. Another thing, for the 2 shock troopers, you're going to want them to have the 2 ace flamethrowers that we've gotten. One of them you want to have the FWG2, the other one you want to have the FW1G. And another prerequisite, I haven't done this before, but it's important that the Edelweiss, for the first move, you need to have one of your tank parts be an extra magazine, because for the first turn we need to shoot 2 mortars off. So you need one of those. For the rest of your parts, I would recommend some accuracy ones. Typically I use the 2 biggest ones, and then you do want a little bit of crit defense, the green ones, because you are going to get shot several times by tanks, and you don't want the Edelweiss to be destroyed, because that's ends the mission for you. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the actual map. And as I mentioned, it's hard to do this in 3 turns because there are a lot of enemies on the map. There's over 15. I don't remember how many there are. And the enemy ace is this tank located here. So I am going to show you how to do it in 3 turns. And to do this, because we only get 6 moves a turn, we're going to be using the Edelweiss a lot to kill enemies as they move. Position it so that the machine gun takes them down. First, let's talk about my lineup here. You are forced to start with the Edelweiss here, Rosie here, who I have equipped with the FW2G, and then you are required to have Larkin. So you only get to pick 2 units to place. I have put a scout here, and this is actually another shock trooper. I didn't take a screen. When I took these screenshots, I was using scouts to get the enemy positions, but this is actually another shock trooper, and they have the FW1G flamethrower. So for our first turn, we're going to be using only the Edelweiss, and what we're going to do is head in this direction, and when we get to about here, there's a signpost. We're going to switch to our mortar, and our target, we won't be able to see these 2, but we're aiming in between them and behind them. What we're trying to do is kill the sniper and knock the lancer out of cover. These are very important for the whole mission. So before you start, I recommend saving, and if the sniper doesn't die, restart and make sure he goes down and that this lancer gets knocked up. Once we've taken our mortar shot, we're going to head in this direction. We'll get about to this rock before we're out of movement. Second turn, we're going to head straight for this tree, knock it down, and once we're out of movement, use our second mortar to take out this enemy sniper. If we leave them standing, they shoot at our units in the base, and we don't want any of them to die. So once both snipers are out of the way, we're going to select the Edelweiss a 3rd time, and we're going to have to back up and use our machine gun to take out the lancer. And then we're going to position it with the lancer gone. There's no enemies behind us that can shoot us in the radiator. Our only threats are the enemy tanks and these lancers. So we want to position ourselves so our rear is protected, but we want to be pointing in this direction so that when any of these shock troopers move, the Edelweiss will take them out with its machine gun. So once we've got positioning and we're feeling pretty safe, or we're just playing out of movement, we'll end our turn. This next part's hard to explain. I'm going to try and do the best I can, but basically the enemy tanks are going to move no matter what. The ace is going to go this direction and will end about here, and is going to take a shot at something. In this case, it's going to be Edelweiss because he has vision. So he'll head this direction, turn around, shoot at us. This tank heads over here, and if it's got a bead on the Edelweiss, it will shoot at us as well. If not, it's going to shoot at our base. So this positioning is very key because, again, we don't want any of these units to die. Once that tank moves, takes its shot, the third tank will move, and it'll actually not shoot because it doesn't have an artillery cannon. It's only got a flamethrower. It's meant to take out our units, our infantry units. So this one's not going to be a threat. Once the three tanks move, it's kind of random what the enemy does, but typically all the scouts stay. These three shock troopers typically stay. Usually what happens is these three will try and run this direction, which is why we've positioned ourselves. So we should take out all three of these shock troopers. Engineer usually doesn't do anything. They should be left behind. And then usually one of these shock troopers runs this way, and our scout will shoot at them before they get all that close. So they should stop about here. And then typically what happens is this Lancer will run right at our base and usually takes a shot at this shock trooper. This is why I have them with the FW1G and not the 2G, because if they happen to go down, you can still do it with one shock trooper. It's just a little tougher. In my game video, this Lancer does hit my shock trooper, doesn't kill him in the first shot, but the second turn that the enemy has, they will use this Lancer again, and if that hits, then you're going to be in rough shape. So hopefully they miss when you play. If not, if you get hit the one time, it's okay as long as they don't hit the second time. So once the enemy's out of movement, our second turn we're going to use only the Edelweiss again, and our goal is to take out the three enemy tanks. And we're going to do that by getting behind them and shooting them in the radiator. So our path is basically this. This is our end goal, is right at the edge of this grassy path, pointed south. Along the way, we're going to take out the three tanks, which are not there, obviously. They're in these other positions. But the point of this position is, again, once the tanks are out of the way, on the enemy's turn, all six of these units are going to run in this direction, headed for the base. So we want to be right next to the grassy patch, and the goal is to take out 5 of them. This one is an enemy leader. As soon as he gets shot by the Edelweiss, he's going to actually stop moving, so we won't take him out, but we do want to take out all 5 of these units. And with all those units gone, that leaves 6 on the map, which we can take out in our 6 moves on the last turn. As I mentioned, that's 5 of the moves. The enemy will have 2 more left. Usually this guy will try and move further, but our scout usually shoots him and stops him again. And then this Lancer will try and take a shot at this shock trooper a second time. Like I said, hopefully we duck, or he just plain misses, because if they go down, it just makes it tougher, and you really want both shock troopers for the last part. Once the enemy does their moves and we've hopefully taken out all 5, it's just cleanup at that point. Like I said, there should be 6 units left. This Lancer, these 2 shock troopers, this scout, the engineer, and this shock trooper leader, who's probably going to be more over here at this point. So for the cleanup, usually what I do is use 1 shock trooper to flame throw the Lancer here, and then have them run at the scout. This directs this shock trooper who's over here, his fire this direction, so that I can then use my second shock trooper to kill them, because they're going to be pretty wounded. And then for the next two moves, I use this first shock trooper to take out the scout. This guy's dead at this point. Run this direction, and then run over here to kill this one. That's 4 moves altogether, so we'll have 2 left over. For the last 2, I'm going to use the scout and take about this path, go for the engineer first, take him out, and then I'm going to duck behind the Edelweiss and then use my last move with Edelweiss friendly fire to make sure that this enemy leader goes down. At this point, all the enemy units should be out of the match, and should be mission accomplished. It's really hard to explain. Like I said, this video I'm actually going to leave in the enemy movements just to make it more understandable. I haven't done this in any other video, but it's kind of necessary to understand what I'm really talking about here. So let's jump now to the actual mission. Alright, here's the actual mission. For this whole term, we're just going to be using the Edelweiss.
Here we go! Hostile sighted!
Switch to
Hostile
your
sighted.
mortar.
Hostile sighted! Enemy sighted!
Stay calm and get it done.
And when you get to about this sign, you're going to aim between that tree and the edge of the grass and aim kind of back. If you aim too far forward, you won't kill the sniper.
Fire!
Okay, good. We killed the sniper and knocked the Lancer out of cover. That's what we were going for. Just head straight for the left tank after you're done.
Here we go! Gotta love nature.
And continue heading straight for the tank. Knock this tree down if you can.
Just stay calm and get it done.
And once you're out of movement, you should be close enough to take out the other sniper with your mortar.
Fire!
Target silenced.
And then end your turn.
Entering combat.
And for the last move, you're going to back up a tad, switch to your machine gun, and you have to back up so that you're close enough to actually kill that Lancer.
Now!
Good work. Keep it up.
Now there's no risk to your backside, so now you want to just position yourself
The enemy.
so that any of those 4 in front of you move, they go down with your machine gun. And just end the phase once you're done.
Minor damage sustained.
Hopefully this guy doesn't take out my treads.
Minor damage sustained.
Oh, good. On the enemy's turn, the first 3 moves are always the tanks, and if they have a shot at your tank, they'll fire. If not, they'll shoot at your troops in the base. So the goal is to have the Edelweiss in their sights, because you want all your units in the base to stay alive. Oh shoot, this one's going after my shock trooper. Hopefully he misses. Nope. But that's okay, she didn't die. Alright, for turn 2 we're going to just use the Edelweiss again and use them to take out the 3 tanks.
Entering combat.
So head around this tank.
Don't get careless. They could be anywhere.
Aiming for that tank. Once you're far enough back, shoot him in the radiator.
I'm impressed, but not surprised. Concentrate your fire.
And try not to get into the grass there. If you drive in the grass, you knock that Lancer up and he tends to block the radiator of this tank.
Entering combat. Gotta love nature.
Now move yourself far enough forward you can take out this tank.
Fire!
Man down. Everybody be careful.
And with that tank out of the way,
There's nothing
now
out
you
there
want to
block
knock
enemy
that
fire.
Lancer up.
Hide yourself quickly.
And you want to position yourself basically facing that rock at the edge of this grass because all the units are going to run this direction. And then for the final
Here we
turn,
go.
take out the last tank.
Now.
Who are these guys?
And then use your movement to position yourself better if necessary.
All squads, check your equipment.
And once you're in a good position, end your turn. And the Edelweiss will end up taking out 5 of those 6 units because of this. There's another scout hidden in the grass there. The only one he won't take out is the shock trooper leader, because he'll stop moving as soon as he gets hit, but that's okay. The goal is to take out 5 of them. That's the only one you won't kill. You might shoot them twice, depending on how they move. Hopefully he misses this time. Oh, good. If he hits both times, you lose this shock trooper, and that's not a good thing. Alright, the third turn's just cleanup. We got 6 troops to take out, 6 moves to do it. There's still a scout hidden over here. So to start things off, I'm going to select Rosie.
I'm on it.
And just going to use her flamethrower to finish off this Lancer.
Just try dodging me.
There's not much cover out there. Be careful. Nice work. Keep taking them down.
Then I'm going to use her to draw the fire of this shock trooper, heading in the direction of this scout hiding in the grass. With the shock trooper looking the other way, I'm going to switch to my other shock
Just try to
trooper.
stop me. I could hit you from here.
And you can shoot this guy if you want, but I prefer to just walk up, hit him with the flamethrower. That way there's no chance of him ducking.
Good work. Keep it
And
up.
at this point you're done with this shock trooper, but You can use whichever one you want. They'll both kill the scout. I'm just going to use Rosie because she's got the better flamethrower.
I'm on it.
And the scout's hidden right about here.
New target sighted.
Once you see him, take him out with your flamethrower.
Go down.
Who are these guys?
And head for the next shock trooper.
Let's do this thing.
Use her one final time to take out that shock trooper.
Here I come. Mwah.
And at this point, we are done with the shock troopers. We're going to clean up the last two with our scout.
No problem, boss.
So I prefer to go for the engineer first. And stay out of range of the shock trooper.
Find cover.
We're just getting warmed up.
You stick to the right, he doesn't see you, and you can get pretty close to be sure he goes down.
It's over. Perfect.
Good. That makes things a bit easier.
And then head to the back of the Edelweiss. Don't poke around yet, there's no point getting shot.
No problem, boss.
And then to finish things off, let the dude run out of ammo shooting at the Edelweiss before coming around. And you can see that the Edelweiss will help us take him out.
I'll cover you.
Not that it was necessary, but... And with that shock trooper leader out of the way, it is mission accomplished. And by beating the level in 3 turns, you can see we achieve an A ranking, get a few bonuses for killing all the units on the map, which you have to do anyways to get an A ranking. I think you can do it in 4 turns and still get an A rank. And overall, all you have to do is make it 7 rounds without any of them escaping. So, but it's just easier to do it by killing them all. Yeah, decent amount of experience and ducats from that. So, and that is how you beat the 4th playable report, I believe, Flower of the Battlefield. And by killing that enemy ace tank, you get a new tank weapon. I think this one's for the Shamrock, actually. I know it has to do with accuracy, but I forget if it's for the Shamrock or the Edelweiss. And after beating Flower of the Battlefield and watching the 2 episodes afterwards, if you go to your squad barracks and go to Welkin, you will notice that his 4th personal potential is unlocked, Power of Love. Anytime Alicia's nearby, he just gets a boost to everything. Doesn't really ever do much because he's in the tank, but if you're replaying that mission where it's him and the scout, it's quite useful.